you go into reality TV, and I always wanted to work as an actor. I always wanted to work in entertainment. Um, Fame with that sounds, oh yeah, of course I'd love to be famous. Oh my God. People want to take a picture with you. People want to ask you. But when it becomes a reality, okay, there was no blueprint. There was no roadmap. There is no guide that teaches you how to be quote unquote famous.
Yeah, it's called VH1 Behind the Music. That's what not to do.
And I'm going to tell you, if I did not have great mentors in my life, if I did not have like my relationship with Jennifer Lewis at the time, and still to this day, I don't know who I would be today. Because there's one attitude about me that's the work attitude. Got it. But the mental weight of going onto reality television, especially a competition, okay? So a competition that you don't win. So now if you're not the winner, what are you? You're the loser. And that is what will stick in people's minds. And see, I've never carried myself nor thought of myself as a loser.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
But now I have to figure out how, for me, it was, now how do I change people's perception of me? Yeah. Because that mattered to me in my entertainment. They're not going to be open and receptive to my message if they all think that I'm a loser. What they call me on RuPaul's Drag Race season 3, a booger, you know, and I didn't really know that. And I didn't even know it. No one ever said it to my face, even like the whole season. No one ever said it to my face. The people were going into confessionals, and that's hard too. You're doing viewing parties, right? You get booked, you're doing a viewing party.
Right.
We watch the show at the same time that everyone watches the show. So you're sitting there thinking, oh, these are my homegirls, these are my friends. And you get to the confessional and they are dog reading you to the floor. The blogger, she's horrible, she's ugly. And you're sitting there with the mic because here comes the commercial break where you talk to the audience. And I've never been like a girl to really read other girls. I was made fun of a lot when I was a kid, whether it's being gay or having teeth that all went 20 different directions, you know, for just being a mixed kid in an environment where there weren't many of us. So I always, like, in my mind, was like, I'm not going to make fun of other people because I know it doesn't feel fun to be made fun of.
Right.
And it's one thing on a competition, yes, you're going to put people down and you're going to be like, no, I turned the party. That person's horrible. They were gutted. But personal things like she's ugly, you know, this about her. I didn't really do a lot of that. Yeah. There were moments where I probably was a little more loose-lipped than I probably should have been, but it wasn't my thing. So it really hurt my feelings. You know, it hurt me personally because I thought, wow, these are my friends. And now, not just my friends and the people on the show, but now people's perception of me. Yeah. I'm a loser, I'm a booger, and everything that those people said about me on reality television, if you don't have an opportunity to combat it, then it becomes reality.
Yeah.
What you said the words change the perception of you really stood out to me because that was a strategic thing I did as an actor. I think when I first came to LA, you're kind of sneaking into the room when you have an audition and you feel like, okay, maybe I'll get this but so much of the energy you bring into the room defines people's perception of you. So when I started getting work, when I started being cast as a series regular, I made the conscious decision of walking into the room, I'm a series regular. And in whatever time that we're together in this room, whether it's 5 minutes, 3 minutes, half an hour, I'm gonna think of myself that way so that you experience me that way. I mean, you have to make a conscious decision to change people's perception of who you are.
Totally, but I like the way that you were talking about the energy that you bring in. There's a quote that goes something like, where intention goes, energy flows. And intention being the key word, really kind of like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, like, what's the objective here? And if the objective is, because, I want I want to entertain other people or be successful through fame, or I want to get the job, or I want to get the, boyfriend or whatever it is. If it's reaching outside of yourself for any kind of validation on the fact that we're okay, then that's the kind of like insecure, not knowing myself energy that we put out, and it doesn't really work. It's like building a house of cards.
Right.
But when the shift happens, where like, that's what both of you guys are talking about, where you actually then are kind of forced to turn inward and consider like, who the fuck am I? Who am I? What am I about? And what do I want to put out into the world? Then that's something that can't be shaked or rattled. I mean,
because it's up to you.
Because it's up to you. And of course, anytime people are dogging on you, or, you kind of like don't get a certain level of fame or success, Of course, that shit can hurt and be upsetting. But, and this is kind of what we're talking about, is what keeps driving you, is that when you've got that fire burning within you, you know who you are, and your intention is to put out the message of that, you'll be able to keep going. That's what is sustainable.
Right.